Lorenzo Sewell, I'm so Holy Ghost humbled and happy that you've decided to be a walking witness, a walking testimony of the power of God. Please understand this. We're the only hope for our nation. Our president needs us. If we don't do it, I'm telling you, nobody else will. How do I know it's working? Because representatives, they are doing one thing, but yet they are trying to take away another thing. Can you imagine that? So one aspect of this, they're saying, okay, we hear you. I believe with everything inside of me because of what we're doing here, it's reverberating everywhere. And I have a lot of proof of that, and this is one of them. One of the aspects is now the resolution U, look this up, Michigan House Joint Resolution U is saying, okay, voters, we'll give you the ability for you to be able to vote for your AG, which is our state attorney general, and also our SOS, which is our secretary of state. We'll give you that authority, but we're doing something else. We're going to take away the authority that you have to vote in the regions. Now, I need you to hear this because this is really important. How many of you out there actually know who's on the board of the University of Michigan? How many of you know who's on the board of the Michigan State University, Sparty? How many of you know who's on the board of Wayne State University? Do you know how big their budgets are? Now, here it is. Our state legislature, you see the power of a king? You see the king-like power here that says, we'll give you the ability to do one thing, but we'll take this away. Hold on. We are the people. We make up those budgets. We make up the lion's share of those budgets. We want to make the decision. Who would do that? Can you imagine you paying for something, but the person that you're actually paying them to do a job, they tell you how they want the job to be done? I mean, that's unfathomable. That's unconscionable. Nobody does that anywhere else. There's nowhere else in life where you can go and you can say, yeah, I'm paying for something. By the way, you tell me what to do with my money. Who does that? And so it is. This is exactly what's happening. Now, let's break this down a little bit further. And I'm reading from a memo that was sent to me by the greatest political mind that has ever crossed the bridge of time, the advocate, Ramon Jackson. Listen to this. Since starting this show, I have covered the massive budgets of universities and how those university regents and trustees are elected officials who control big budgets. Michigan's budget, for example, is $15 billion. Some budgets are larger than the budgets of municipalities. Michigan's budget is 5 times bigger than the city of Detroit. That's huge. And that's massive. That's massive. Detroit's budget is $3 billion. Theirs is 15. These regents, trustees, and board members fly under the radar. But allegedly, we voted them in, which I know they didn't. We cheated. They were cheated in. Now, how do I know that? Because if cheating is happening in Detroit, it's happening everywhere. Are you listening to me? Oh, it's affecting everybody because Detroit is the largest municipality. This is one of the reasons why we talk so much about Detroit. We talk about Detroit because if cheating is happening in Detroit, if cheating is happening in your largest municipality, it's happening everywhere. Listen to me. This new law is to combat us discovering that the regents, trustees, and board members are not being voted in, and nobody knows who they are. You see that? Not only are they being cheated in, but nobody knows who they are. That's cruel. They're cheating in these regents and these trustees. So Michigan citizens are not electing them, but they're being selected. They're not being voted in. They're being cheated in. We unfoiled the plot. Yes, we unfoiled the plan. That's because of your work. To combat that, the Democrats are attempting to amend the Constitution so we still don't elect the regents and trustees of these universities. It's a dirty plot, dirty ploy, dirty plan. And now Joe Tate, who we know, Joe is not a smart man. He's not. He just isn't. He's not a smart guy. I've been with him in a room. I think he was a good football player. I think he played pro. But we're not talking about tackling here. Now, we were talking about tackling. Joe Tate's our guy. Joe Tate would be the man for the job. We're not talking about blocking and tackling here. We're talking about politics. We're talking about budgets. somebody gave him this plan. We have a spiritual suspicion and the Holy Ghost hunch that happened. So, listen to this. To try to fool us, they're saying, people, voters, we're going to give you the permission to vote now for the Secretary of State and the Attorney General, but we're going to take your ability away to vote in the regions. We should be able to do both. I believe that. Here's a great example. Here's a case in point. The case in point is, I want you to hear this name, Rima Vassar. Rima Vassar. Have you heard of Rima? Rima Vassar. This is important. I want you to go to 100 people and ask them about Rima. Rima Vassar allegedly received $220,000. I want you to hear that. 220,000 votes. That means 1 out of every 2 people. That means 50%. Oh, man. Of the people in Detroit voted for her to be on the board of Michigan State University. Why does this matter? It's your money. Your money funds the lion's share of Sparty. And furthermore, I know there's endowments and I know there's donations, but trust me, it's funded on your money. That's one of the reasons why this is amazing to see this now. Matt Hall says 65% of the taxpayers' money should not go toward the University of Michigan. He said, no, we're going to cut it by 65. How can the Speaker of the House suggest that? You know how he can suggest that? Because it's our money. He's supposed to be representing us. So I need you shareholders to call your representatives. Call up to Lansing. It's Googleable. You just call, and I have my producer look up the number. I called it earlier, and it was for my district, but I definitely want to be able to have all of you call up. And when I talked to my representative today, they had no idea what they were going to do about this. Can you see, remember, politicians are like painters. They're like contractors. That's why we talk about getting contracts. They're like contractors. We tell them what we want. Are you listening to me? They don't tell us what they want, but we tell them this is what we want you to do with our tax dollars. So I want all of you to reach out and let your representative know this is what we want. We want you to say, no, this is not good. We want everything. We want to vote not only for the SOS and the Attorney General. Not only do we want to vote for the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, we also want to be able to vote for who the regents are. Because right now, Ahmed Mekhled, he is the one who is looking to be over the University of Michigan. He is an Islamic jihadist, friends with Hassan Picker, and also on Michigan State University's campus. And we know that Al Sayed, who is literally right now running for Senate, he's the leader for the Democrat Party for the U.S. Senate. You can't make that up. He was at Michigan State University, and he was there with Hassan Picker. Now, if my producer will look up the Michigan State representatives, them look that up. And if he looks up that number to call the legislature, so get you that number. And many of you are Googling it right now. Many of you are calling. I want you to call them and I want you to tell them as it relates to the Michigan House Joint Resolution. This is a resolution. I want us to say, no, we don't want that. We don't want that. We want to be able to choose. We need you to amend that resolution and make it where we, the people, choose. Now, I talked earlier about how President Trump is the only president. I need you to call. This just in from my producer. Call 517-373-0478. Call your representative. 517-373-0418. I want you to call that representative. I want you to say to that representative is, we the people, we want the Michigan Resolution U to be that we vote for the regions, we vote for the trustees, we vote for the board members of our universities. And in addition to that, we also want to be able to vote for the Secretary of State and the Attorney General. I alluded earlier about why President Donald Trump is the only president that we've had and I'm not saying we haven't had good presidents. I want you to hear that. I'm just saying we haven't had real presidents. What do I mean? Authentic presidents. Presidents that are just purely for the people. I gave the example of Elon Musk, how he did not give Elon Musk the EV contracts like Dirty Joe, Crooked Joe Biden did. But also, you know, Elon's threat was to the president, by the way. He said, I want to start a political party. Isn't that something? Now, you got all the money in the world. I mean, you're the richest guy. You're the richest man in the world. Why would you want to start a political party? Do you know why? The reason why he wanted to start a political party, it wasn't to hurt Trump. He didn't care about that. The reason why, it wasn't because of Doge. Advocates been doing Doge in Detroit before Elon Musk ever thought about being in politics. Elon Musk understands that the corporation of America is a $7 trillion, almost $7 trillion corporation. And he said, I'm starting a political party. And that was his threat toward the president. We know that President Donald Trump is the only real president that we've ever had in terms of just being for the people, because he is not stopping on election fraud. Also, we know President Donald Trump is the only real president for the people because he doesn't have to be the president. He was already rich, already a mogul, already doing well. 35 former federal judges filed a motion to stop Trump anti-weaponization fund. Now, the fund is it's about $2 billion approximately. $2 billion, not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money for a president when he's leading a almost $7 trillion budget. The issue is, who is he to have the audacity to love the people in such a way? Who is he to care for people like me in Detroit? Our church that consists of a median income in our community of about $24,000. Who is he to care about people who are weaponized? Patriots, are you listening? 35 former judges gone wild, have banded together to stop the anti-weaponization settlement citing fraud by the president. Wow. Can't make this up. Out of all the fraudulent settlements or politically motivated opinions and decisions, now these former judges want to speak. The judges consist of presidential appointees from both sides. You listen to this? See the uniparty at work? Listen, Politics and Praise family, we're the only hope for this nation because this uniparty is at work right now. You can't make this up. This is so rare to see both parties, former federal judges, band together. Can you imagine this? This is evil. This is judges gone wild. Have you heard of girls gone wild? This is judges gone wild. This is why I state that we have a certain window to take our country back. Just like windows open, windows can also close. And my brothers and my sisters, this window is closing. We have a midterm, and then I believe it's next, I want to say spring, you need to file if you want to be the president of the United States of America, 2028. Back on Politics and Praise after the break, we will be talking about the details of why the demonic Democratic Party, why they allowed President Trump to win. You're listening to Politics and Praise with Lorenzo Su.